Hi guys, and welcome back to my live videos. It's been quite some time since I've been here live. It's been a really long time since I've done a live video, but I'm here again. Hi Erica, thank you for joining the live today. I really want to focus on cavitation machines. I really want to talk about the cavitation machines because I've been getting quite a lot of messages from people asking about the cavitation machine, which one is better for business, which one is better for at-home use. And so I've just gotten a lot of questions about it, and I really want to go over each of the machines that I have, which one is better for business, which one is better for personal use. Like if you're just wanting to get a cavitation machine to use on yourself at home, which one would be better, all of these things. Like today, really, I want to cover everything about cavitation machines, because I think that knowing which one is best for your business, or maybe you're planning on starting a body sculpting business, like knowing which one is really the best one for you, pricing and everything, it's the most important. Because if you get the wrong machine, if you don't really know about the machines, which one is better for you, then it's going to be really hard for you to give your clients good results. Okay, so something that I want to start off with is with cavitation machines, there's so many available out in the market. There are so many available. Okay, so I'm going to cover the 80K, the 40K, and the 30K cavitation machines. Why? Because these are essentially the ones that you hear about the most. So when you think about cavitation machine and sound waves, really what a cavitation machine is doing, it's emitting sound waves. Okay, so when it's emitting sound waves, depending on how strong the machine is or how strong the sound wave is, then that means that's how deep it's going to penetrate into the adipose tissue. So remember, when you are offering a fat loss treatment, technically what you're doing and what you're wanting is your machine to penetrate deeper into the adipose tissue so that you're able to target more body fat. And the more body fat you target, the better the result your client is going to get. Okay, the better the stronger the sound waves, the deeper it's going to penetrate, and the deeper it penetrates, the more it targets, the more body fat you're able to reduce within that particular treatment. This is why I say that clients should be able to lose anywhere between 1 and up to 5 inches in one session. Now, I know like 5 inches sounds like it's a lot, and yes, it actually does sound like it's a lot, but it's very possible. Doesn't mean that every person is going to lose 5 inches. No. Why? Because it all depends on the client's journey. It depends on where they're at that particular moment. It depends. Like, I cannot compare someone who is constantly drinking alcohol, who is not following a diet, who is not really investing in themselves to help the treatments, and someone who is actually working out, who's eating better, who's drinking her water, who is detoxing, who is avoiding alcohol, who is doing all of these things, and on top of that, the treatments. You know what I mean? So I cannot compare every single client, because some clients will follow instructions while other clients won't. Some clients will do their work at home while other clients won't. Some clients will maintain super clean, they'll fast, they'll detox, they'll do all of the things, while other people are going to be drinking alcohol and eating all kinds of like junk foods and fast food and salty food, greasy foods, lots of sodas and juices and all of these things. So I cannot compare two clients, because they're never gonna have the same results. Every person is different. Every body is different. Everything is always different. So that's why I always say, when you work on someone, it's always gonna be anywhere between 1 inch and up to 5 inches. Up to, that's the key word right there, up to 5 inches. So, but in order for your client to get really good results, you have to have a good machine. Okay, so this is where I want to start talking about the machines. There's 80K, there's 50K, there's 40K, and there's also 30K. So let's talk a little bit about the sound waves that these machines are emitting. So essentially the sound waves, the way like I explain it in my classes is that think of sound waves as like you have two rocks, right? You have a small one and you have a big one, and you throw both of them on a puddle of water. So the small one is going to have a small splash. The big rock is going to have a big splash. When you dump both of them, which one do you think is going to have a bigger impact? The bigger rock, right? So the bigger rock represents the bigger sound waves. And in order for your machine to have bigger sound waves, then that means that that number, that 30K, 40K, 50K, 80K has to be lower. I know it sounds kind of like controversial, because if you look at the number, well, 80K is higher than 30K. Yes, it's higher. Like the number itself is higher, but what it means is that it has to emit so much more sound waves in order to perform its job compared to the 30K. The 30K, we're talking about it's emitting 30,000 sound waves per second, versus a 40K or an 80K is emitting 80,000 sound waves. So if it's emitting 80,000 sound waves, that means like it has to go extremely fast, and the sound waves have to come out small. Okay, so the impact on the skin is not going to be as effective or as powerful. As opposed to a 30K, it doesn't have to emit 80K. So we're talking about like more than half of the amount of less sound waves that it has to produce in every second. So that means the sound waves is going to come out bigger. So the bigger the sound waves, the more impact it's going to have on the skin. And the more impact it has on the skin, then that means that the better the results, the more fat loss, the more body fat you're able to target in every single session. That's why the cavitation machine is very, very, very important. I know I hear some people say, and I hear some trainers advertise that the 40K is the best one. That's the only one you need. Honestly, in my opinion, I've used all of them. I have all kinds of machines here, and the 30K is always going to be the best one. Does it have to be an S shape? It doesn't necessarily have to be an S shape. You can find any other cavitation machine besides the S shape, as long as it's a 30K cavitation machine. That's really what you're looking for, a 30K, because the 30K means that the sound waves are stronger, the sound waves are larger. So if they're larger and stronger, it's gonna have a better impact on the actual adipose tissue. The adipose tissue is the subcutaneous fat. Simple as that. Okay, and what we're aiming here is to have the best machine to be able to give your clients the best results. So what I teach in my class about a 30K cavitation machine is that you want to get the best option out there. For me, one of the best options, if you're not an esthetician, like if you're just in it for body sculpting treatments and that's all you want to offer, everything that has to do with body sculpting and not aesthetic work, then you definitely would want to get an S shape. Why? Why do you want to get an S shape? Because the S shape has an electroporation probe on the machine. With the electroporation, you can offer skin tightening treatments, you can offer fat reduction, you can offer cellulite treatments, you can offer so many different things. Just with that electroporation probe, it's like one of the little tools on the S-shaped machine. So just with that one probe alone, you have multiple treatments that you're able to offer within your studio. Then you also have the small RF probe that's for the face. Okay, with that probe you can do skin tightening on the face, not on the body, because the small probe is for the face, because this face is smaller, so we definitely need a smaller probe. We're not going to use the big RF probe on the face, because you're gonna burn the client. Okay, so you need a really small probe that doesn't get as hot as the larger one, because the skin on the face is so much more sensitive that you really want to be careful with that. Now, if you're going to offer treatments on the face, for example, skin tightening, you really want to make sure that you definitely want to make sure that you have your esthetician license, because anything that has to do with the face, that falls under the esthetician license. So if you're going to offer skin tightening on the face, you want to make sure that you have your esthetician license. Unless you already have it, then by all means do what you have to do. So the S-Shape has those two, plus it also has the cavitation machine. Here's like the biggest question that I get. How come my cavitation probe does not heat up? So cavitation within itself, it should never heat up. Not unless you have the S-Shape. Not unless the S-Shape has, not unless your cavitation machine has a dual probe, meaning it's RF and cavitation in one probe. Not unless you have that one, then yes, you should be worried about why your probe is not heating up if your RF is on. But if it's off, or if you have a standard cavitation machine that is just one cavitation probe and it's not RF or 2-in-1, if it's just the cavitation and not RF within that one probe, then it should never heat up on the actual skin. Eventually it'll start feeling slightly warm, but it's not because of the probe. It's because of the friction that you're putting on the skin. It's because of all the pressure that you're putting on the skin. That's what's going to cause the skin to heat up a little bit. That's what's going to cause the skin to turn a little bit red. That's what's going to cause the skin to feel slightly warm, not necessarily the actual cavitation probe. So if you have a standard cavitation machine that is just one cavitation probe, that it does not have RF within that one probe as well, then it should never heat up. Never. I get this question asked almost daily. How come my cavitation probe is not heating up? And I'm freaking out. I just bought my machine last month. I started using it with on some of my clients, or some of my models. I started using on myself, and I don't see that it's heating up. No, it's never gonna heat up. It's not supposed to heat up. The cavitation probe should not heat up. Not unless, again, I repeat, not unless you have a dual probe, which is something that you can find on the S-Shape. The S-Shape has a dual probe, meaning that you have RF and cavitation in one. You can have both of them on at the same time, or you can turn one on and the other one off, so on and so forth. So if you want to do just skin tightening, you turn off the cavitation. If you want to do just cavitation, you turn off the RF on the S-Shape only. On the standard cavitation machines, it's just a single cavitation probe, and it will never get hot. Never. Don't expect the machine to get hot. The only probe that should get hot is the RF probe. That's the only one. The whole purpose of the RF is to heat up the skin. That's why that's the only one that should be heating up, not the cavitation probe. I feel like the companies sometimes don't specify what each probe is for, how it's supposed to be used, and which one heats up and which one doesn't. I think there's like a lot of lack of information out there, especially coming from like the manufacturers, coming from the companies where you purchase the machines from. But just to get that question off the list, your cavitation probe should never get hot unless it has RF. So going back into the S-Shape machine, we covered the electroporation, what that is for, how many treatments you can offer just with that one tool alone. Then we covered cavitation with that the cavitation probe with RF, and then you also have the what do you call it? You have the vacuum probe. There's another one. There's 4. The machine that I have is a 4-in-1, so it has 4 probes on the S-Shape machine. So let's cover the vacuum probe on this S-Shape, or just any machine in general, just any cavitation machine in general. So the vacuum, you can use it for two different things, and this is how I've used my machine. Hi everybody. I'm just going through the messages right now. Welcome to the live. Today I'm really just gonna be talking about cavitation machines, selecting the right one for your business. So the vacuum machine, I use it for two different things. Lymphatic drainage, one. So after I've done all of my fat loss with the cavitation tool, with the laser lipo, with the wood therapy, the last thing I do is vacuum therapy with the actual vacuum probe. Why? Because when you use your vacuum probe, what you're doing really is mobilizing fluid into the lymphatic system. You're technically just helping your client's body flush out faster. That's really all you're doing. So there's no need for the pressure to be high. There's no need for the suction to be high. Like, it should feel very light, like as if you're slightly pulling on the skin. When you are doing lymphatic drainage with your vacuum probe, it should never leave the skin super red. It should never leave marks on the skin. Like, it should never look like a hickey on the skin. If you're doing lymphatic drainage, it should never do that. It does not hurt. If it hurts, if you're doing lymphatic drainage, it should never do that. It does not hurt. If it hurts, then your settings are too high. When you're using your vacuum probe for lymphatic drainage, it should never hurt. It should feel very lightly. Literally all you're doing is moving all the fluid. You're mobilizing all the fluid that's there in the area. You're mobilizing it and you're moving it over into the lymphatic system. So if all you're doing is moving or mobilizing fluid into the lymphatic system, it should not hurt. It should never hurt. This is another question that I get asked a lot. How come when I use my vacuum probe, it hurts so much? Like, I feel like it's pulling on my skin way too much. Well, something is wrong. You're doing something wrong. For lymphatic drainage, it should feel very light, as if you're just doing a gentle massage, a soft massage. If you're able to do this on your skin and it doesn't hurt, that's technically how it's supposed to feel on the skin. No more than that. You will increase your pressure and your suction on your vacuum machine, on your vacuum probe, only when you are doing a cellulite treatment, because cellulite is completely different. Like, you treat that completely different. Okay, it's you don't treat it the same way as opposed to doing a lymphatic drainage with your vacuum probe. So for lymphatic drainage, this is my last step. I break down all of the body fat that I can break down with all of my tools, and then the last step is vacuum therapy. I want to move all the fluid into the lymphatic system depending on the area that I'm treating. And after that, if I'm going to offer a skin tightening treatment on the client, if she needs it, then I'll do that after my vacuum probe. So I won't do skin tightening before the vacuum. I will break down the body fat, then I will drain, and then the last thing will be skin tightening if she needs it. I don't do skin tightening on every single client either. I don't. Not everybody needs it. Not everybody needs it. So I will not do skin tightening on every single client. To me, I feel like if I do skin tightening on every single client in every single session, I'm wasting a lot of time. Precious time that I could use to break down more body fat. The way I do it is, if my client needs skin tightening, then I'll probably add it on one session and then skip it on the next, and then add it on the third session and then skip it on the fourth. For me, skin tightening, it's all based on how the client is healing. If her skin is tightening really, really fast, then I'm not gonna need to add so much of the skin tightening. And the reason why is because When you do a skin tightening treatment, the effects will only last anywhere between 4 and 8 weeks, no more than that. So essentially, the skin will always go back to its original state if they don't keep up with the skin tightening sessions. So that's why I just don't waste my time. If my client is here because she really wants to lose body fat, she wants to get rid of body fat, then my main focus is fat loss, not skin tightening. But if she's here for skin tightening, then my main focus is skin tightening and not fat loss. You know what I mean? But if she needs both, then I will add skin tightening every other week, or I might do 2 weeks in a row and then skip it the following 2 weeks, and so on and so forth, because I already know that no matter what I do as far as skin tightening, her skin will always go back to its original state after 4 to 8 weeks if she doesn't keep up with her skin tightening treatments. So unless she wants to come back every other week for a skin tightening session, even after she's done with all of her fat loss treatments, then by all means, I'll add in all of the skin tightening treatments on her. But if not, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm sorry. I just won't waste my time. Not unless she's here specifically for skin tightening, period. So the vacuum therapy probe, you're going to use it for lymphatic drainage and cellulite treatment. When you're using it for lymphatic drainage, it has to be done at a very low setting. You'll notice that on your machine, there's going to be like a little knob. Some machines have it on the top, others have it in the front, others have it on the sides, or others have it on the back. Wherever your knob is, that little knob regulates the pressure of the vacuum probe. So if it's on high, that vacuum is going to suction on the skin extremely high. That means that the pressure of the vacuum is really, really high. So it's going to pull on the skin. It's like literally going to yank on the skin. And that is going to be very painful. So if you want to avoid that, lower the setting. For lymphatic drainage, I keep it between low, medium. Okay, I always keep it between low, medium if I'm doing lymphatic drainage. But if I'm going to use my vacuum probe for a cellulite treatment, then I bring it up a notch. I bring it up to medium, and then I work my way up until whatever my client can tolerate. Some clients cannot tolerate much. Other clients can tolerate a lot. So that will really vary on my client, okay? So on the S-shape, you have those three, and then the last one that you'll have, the other tool that you'll have on the S-shape is going to be I covered electroporation, I covered the RF. Oh, actually, I covered all four of them. So it's the electroporation, the small RF for the face, the cavitation, and the RF for the body, and then the vacuum. So those are the main four that you'll get on the S-shape. So why do I talk a lot about the S-shape machine, really? Well, for me, it's because the S-shape is actually one of the best machines that you could have for your business. If you're thinking of purchasing an 80K machine for your business, I don't recommend that machine. The 80K machine does not penetrate the skin or the adipose tissue that much. Like, it barely taps. It barely touches the adipose tissue. Like, you really won't do much with the 80K. So I do not recommend an 80K cavitation machine for a business. If you want to start off at home for personal use, then yes, go ahead and get yourself an 80K. If you don't know how to use a cavitation machine, if you don't really know what that is, if you've never gotten any type of training, but you want to buy a cavitation machine for yourself because you want to do treatments on yourself at home, then yes, you can purchase the 80K and start off with that, because you don't want to get a powerful machine if you don't know how to use it, because if you don't know how to use a 30K cavitation machine, you can actually cause damage to your body. You can cause damage to your skin because you can overdo the cavitation on your body. The timing, you can overdo the areas that you're allowed to do in every session. So that's why if you're going to use for personal use, I will always recommend you start off with an 80K, maybe even a 40K. Even a 40K is fine to use at home, but for business, I encourage you to start with a 30K. Okay? If you have already started your business and you have a 40K, that's fine. I'm not saying throw your machine away and invest in a whole new one just because I say so. No. What I'm saying is that if you're not getting the results that you're really looking for, and you have a 40K machine and you're doing all of the things, you're following all of the steps, you've learned about body fats, you've learned how to differentiate body types, you've mastered your technique, like you've advanced your skills, and yet you're still not seeing results, then it could be that it's your machine. Because remember, a 40K cavitation machine will not penetrate as deep as a 30K. Okay, so if you are really looking to invest in another machine, then your 30K is your best bet, because there are so many other things that you can offer just with that machine alone, as opposed to just keeping your 40K. With the standard 40K cavitation machine, you don't have the electroporation probe, meaning that with that one probe alone, you can offer so many different things. You can offer skin tightening on the face. You can offer skin tightening on the body. You can offer cellulite treatments. These are like add-on treatments to what you're already doing. You can do double chin treatments just with that one extra tool on the S shape. So just imagine how much more business you can bring, or how much more clients you can bring onto your business by having an S shape. Now, if you don't have the funds for it, I'm not saying run right now and purchase the machine. This live is just to give you more information and teach you about the differences on cavitation machines, so that you make the best decision for you, for your current business or your future business. Maybe you're someone who wants to start a body sculpting business and you have no idea which machine to get because you feel overwhelmed. And yes, I know it can get very overwhelming because there's so many different options out there. Like there's so many. And you know, if you're just starting out, sometimes you just don't know what to get. Sometimes you just don't know which one is best for your business. Sometimes you just don't know what's the best option for a business. And the best option for a business truly is the S shape. It's not that I'm here advertising it for whatever reason. It's really just a live training to go over the differences on these cavitation machines, because this is a question that I get asked a lot, and it's about how come I don't get good results with the 40K. I know someone asked me a question. Are you planning on coming back to San Diego to conduct training? More than likely not. Matter of fact, now that you are asking that, I'm going to be retiring from body sculpting completely. So last year I stopped offering treatments. So the very last month that I offered treatments was back in October. Like I stopped taking clients and I just finished up with all of the clients that I had. And then October, beginning of November came around and I was like finishing up with all of the clients that I still had. So after the beginning of November, I stopped taking clients, and I've only been training. Like I've only been giving classes online and in person, but I have not been taking clients since November. I don't plan on taking any more clients actually. So I focused more on mentoring and training online and in person. But now, this year, it's actually going to be the last year that I'll be training. Like I am moving away from body sculpting completely. I've moved into something else that I won't talk about right now, but I've moved into something else, and it's not business precisely. So it's just like I'm no longer going to be in the body sculpting industry. And so I just want to come out here and really just teach you all of the things that I know. Like, I want to give you all of the information that I have. Like, I want to train you in all of the things that I know, that I've learned, and that I've mastered, because I'm stepping away. But I know there are thousands of body sculptors out there that are still planning to keep running their business, and that they want to get better, and they want to get better results, and they want to grow their business. And there are other people who are planning on investing in a class to start their body sculpting business. Just because I'm stepping away doesn't mean that everybody else is stepping away. No, that's just me. This is like my personal decision, you know? So because I'm stepping away, I've just come to the conclusion that I just might as well give you guys all of the things that I know, now that I'm talking about it. Next month, May 2nd and 3rd, I'm going to have a hands-on training. It's literally going to be a fraction of the cost. I'm not doing it for like financial benefit. Like, I'm really not doing it for that purpose. I'm really just doing it because I want to pour onto other women who want to start their business, or who want to master their skills, or who want to learn my 45-minute sculpted method technique. So if you just want to master or enhance your skills, or you want to start a business, a body sculpting business, literally, this is the opportunity. It's going to be a 2-day hands-on training, just as I've always done them. Like, I'm not skipping anything. Just because it's a fraction of the cost does not mean that I'm going to skip anything. No, like, I'm not going to skip anything. You're going to get everything as if you're getting a regular full price training with me. I'm just doing it because I'm stepping away from body sculpting this year. And so slowly I'm reducing my classes. Slowly I'm reducing the amount of trainings that I'm offering. And so I used to offer the mentorship program online. We would get together every single week for live calls and all of that. I've stopped that already. I've had other online courses. I've stopped those already. And now really what I'm left with is the hands-on training. And so the hands-on training is really going to be a fraction of the cost. It's going to be $297 for a 2-day class. Come on! A full 2-day class, as if you're getting a regular training with me. You're going to learn the 45-minute sculpted method. What is the 45 sculpted method? That is my most advanced technique, where I've learned to minimize my treatments from it used to be 2 hours, then it dropped to an hour and a half, then it dropped to 1 hour, now it's 45 minutes. So I'm able to offer clients full fat loss treatments in 45 minutes, and yet they still get amazing results. So that's something that I'm going to cover in this class as well. You're going to learn all the fundamentals. You're going to learn all the basics. You're going to learn all about contraindications, all about body fats. It's a full class. With the only difference that the price has dropped to only $297, is in person, is not online. So it's going to be here in Houston, Texas. And so and again, it's really only because I'm stepping away from body sculpting this year. I'm only going to keep doing it for a few more months, and then I'm gone. I will be gone forever from body sculpting. Oh my gosh. Kind of feels hard in a way. It feels kind of hard to say it, but I am going to be stepping away completely. And so, because of that, I know there are a lot of women out there that want to start their body sculpting business. They want to get better. They want to grow their business. And so this is an opportunity for you to grow. This is an opportunity for you to learn. This is an opportunity for you to master your skills and just get better at what you do. Maybe you already have a really good business. Maybe you already have an established business, but you're still struggling to get results. You're still struggling to minimize your treatment time. You're still struggling with your machines. Like, you're still struggling with mixing and matching your treatments and offering better results to your clients, and just offering more things to your clients that will help your business grow, not just financially, but eventually, like, if you're wanting to expand your business to other cities, like, these are things that are going to help you. Like, I'm the type of person that I'm always learning. Like, you will always catch me learning. I'm always investigating, I'm always researching, I'm always reading books, I'm always reading journals. I'm always learning. And just because I got really good with my treatments a couple years ago, that didn't stop me. I still kept working on my skills. I said I have to be able to reduce my treatment time, because if I'm able to reduce my treatment time and give clients good results, then that means that I'm able to see more clients. I'm able to take on more clients. And if I can take more clients, then I can hire someone to help me. And then if I can hire someone to help me, that means I can get even more clients, and so on and so forth. It's all about growing and expanding and getting better. So just because I was able to bring my treatment time down from an hour and a half to 1 hour, like, that's it, I stopped learning. No, I didn't. I kept going. I keep researching. Because things change, every day things are always changing. Machines are changing. Things are getting advanced. Techniques are getting better. So you're always going to catch me learning. And so everything that I learn, I always pour it on to others. I always add that new information on my classes. So something that, for instance, like, whatever I used to offer 4 years ago in my training classes, there's a whole lot more that I offer now in the classes. Why? Because over the years, I've learned new things. I've learned new techniques. I've learned about all of these things that now I included in my training classes. It's something that because I didn't have the information before, I couldn't offer it in any of my classes, right? So this is why, I decided that I would start coming back and doing these lives again, and just offering more information, more free training online, just more information on these platforms, before I completely go away from body sculpting, because I will. This is gonna be my last year, a few more months, and I'm done. I'm done with body sculpting. So in the meantime, I'm going to be hopping on here, sharing more trainings. I'm going to be creating more videos on these social media platforms just for you. It's not for my benefit. It's for your benefit. It's for you to learn. It's for you to get better. It's for you to enhance your skills. It's for you to grow your business. It's really for you, not for me. Because what good does it make if I leave the industry and I don't share what I know with other people? I'm not the type that will keep everything for myself. I'm the one that if I learn something, I share it with you. I'm the one that if I say, this is so cool, and I feel like this is really beneficial for my business, I'm the one that's going to share it with you. Why? Because we should all be winning. We should all be growing. We should all be making money, We can all take a piece of the pie, not just me. So there's no benefit in me leaving the industry without sharing all the information that I already know. Yes, the training classes, obviously, it's going to be full days, all day long. It's 2 days, Friday and Saturday. It's coming up May 2nd and 3rd. It's going to be here in Houston, Texas. The space is limited. And will I have another one? Yes, I will have another one, but the month after. So May is going to be the next one. Then June is going to be the next one. July is going to be the next one. I'm only offering 1 class per month. That's it. No more. I used to travel a lot to other states, other cities for these hands-on trainings. I'm no longer doing that. Online trainings, I'm no longer doing that. Mentorship programs, I'm no longer doing that. All I'm offering now as far as classes is this 2-day class once a month until I leave the industry. So today's live was really about cavitation machines and differentiating which one was better than the other one. For home use, it's an 80K. For business, it's a 30K. But if you have a 40K, you can still get good results. You just have to work a little bit harder with that cavitation machine. You really have to work a little bit harder because the sound waves are not as strong as the 30K. And then with the 30K S-shaped machine, there's that extra tool that you can use for your advantage. And so that's really what I wanted to talk about, just the differences on the cavitation machines. Let me answer a couple questions that I know that came through. Someone asked, why did I stop? I'm guessing, why did I stop taking clients? So last year, initially, it all started because I was going to start homeschooling my kids. I didn't want to send them to public school, so I said, I'm going to slow down with my clients. I'm not going to be taking a lot of clients because I want to homeschool, and I've never homeschooled my kid. I've never homeschooled, period. My kids are little. I have a 5 and a 3-year-old, so I said, well, this is brand new to me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle homeschool and a full-time business. So I kind of slowed down with my treatments with my clients. I stopped taking a lot of clients. I was very selective with my clients. And so because of that, that's like one of the reasons why I stopped taking in a lot of clients. So I wasn't working full-time anymore. Then I was only working part-time as far as like clients. You know, I was still offering my trainings and all of that, but as far as clients, it was just part-time because I was homeschooling. I started homeschooling, and I remember like the first couple of months was kind of like overwhelming for me. It was a lot of pressure. Although I've done a lot of teaching in my business, but homeschooling was like, it's like a whole nother thing. That's like totally different. So I didn't know how much pressure I was going to have, and I didn't want to overload myself. So I slowed down with clients. So, but then from there, I kind of started liking not being at the office 5-6 days a week, because I was working a lot. I really was working a lot. I was taking a lot of clients. I was seeing a lot of clients. I was there Monday through Saturday. Some days I was there till like 8-9 p.m. And I would get started right around 8-9 a.m. So it was starting to become a lot of work for me. And so I knew that working those hours, I wasn't going to be able to homeschool my kids. And I didn't want to send them to public school. So that's the reason why I started reducing the amount of clients that I was seeing. But then eventually I started liking it. And I liked it more. And so then I said, you know what? I think it's time for me to stop taking clients, and I'm only going to focus on teaching online and in person in the meantime while I homeschool. Maybe next year when my kids are a little bit bigger, or maybe in 2 years, I might start taking in clients again. We'll see how it goes. But then a couple months ago, towards like November, December, you know, God started calling me into something completely different. And so I kind of had a battle there with myself, because I didn't know if I just didn't know what to do. So eventually I just took the leap of faith, and I trusted God, and I said, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. This is what you're calling me. And so this is what I'm doing, period. So because of that, now I'm going to completely stop body sculpting. Like, I'm no longer going to be here. I love body sculpting. I've always, I started the business with offering eyelash extensions. Then I went into permanent makeup, and then I went into body sculpting. And so from all of the treatments that I was offering, I stayed with body sculpting because that's the one that I fell in love with. Like, that's the one that I really just loved, you know. I know permanent makeup can offer so much more money than body sculpting, but it wasn't really about just the money. It was about what I really enjoy doing. So, you know, I stayed with body sculpting until this day. I love I truly love the industry, but I've just been called into something else. And so I can no longer do that and this and homeschool. I cannot. I have to let go of something. And so what I'm having to let go of is body sculpting. Maybe in the future, who knows? I don't know. Probably not. Who knows? Maybe in the near future, if God permits, God allows it, I may come back to body sculpting. I highly doubt it, but maybe. So in the meantime, just because I know that I'm moving away from body sculpting, I'm just here to pour it all out. Like, I'm just here to give it all to you, you know. Let me just give you all the information. Let me just give you everything that you need and help you with your business in whatever way I can. You changed my body. The results are so permanent. You're one of a kind. Ah. Oh my gosh, you're here. Oh my God, I have not talked to you. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about your treatments, but I know who you are. Thank you for that. Thank you. And then, you know, that's one of the reasons why, like, I just love body sculpting. Honestly, it's so rewarding, not just for me, but for the client, you know, like seeing people's reactions and like their transformations and how they start falling in love with their own body. Jesus, it's like, for me, is that's what made me fall in love with body sculpting. You know, I could have stayed with permanent makeup because it makes so much more money than body sculpting, but I preferred body sculpting, you know. But anyways, going back to what I was saying, because I'm moving away, this is the reason why I'm offering all of the things that I'm offering now. Someone said, could you please make a video of a 30K S-shape modalities? Thanks. Okay. Oh, that's gonna be a tough one because for that, that's like a longer training. That's a longer training. I'll do my best. I'll do my best to make a video on the S-shape. The other one said, another question, will electroporation be included in the training? Sorry, my daughter is calling me. Ahorita voy, mi amor. Ahorita salgo, okay? Yes, electroporation will be included in this training. Again, there's just so much that you can do with this one machine. Yes, can I help you?
I can photo?
No, I'm making a video. Ahorita voy, okay?
Well,
just give me 2 minutes. I'm almost done.
When I go out, can you put me your lipstick grow and can you buy me accessories?
When you grow up, baby.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. My 3-year-old wants to grab my lipsticks because she's obsessed with lipsticks and high heels. Oh my God. Bye. Bye. 2 minutes, okay? Okay. She's obsessed with lipsticks. You know, my daughter is so sassy. She's only 3. Anyways, so she looks at my lipsticks and she's like, "Mom, can I put can I put on your red lipstick?" I said, "No, child, you cannot." She wants to use my red lipstick, her high heels, and her princess dresses. Oh my God. Anyways, so yes. Last question, will electroporation be included? Yes, electroporation is going to be included in your training. There's a lot to cover. There really is a lot to cover. Just with the S-shape machine alone, you can do so much. I honestly think that you do not need any other machine than one S-shape. That is all you need for your business. That is all you need, and you can grow your business. You can make so much money. You can attract so many clients. Obviously, the better your results, the more you master your skills, then the more people are going to recommend you. The more people are going to come back and see you. Like, the more you do that, the more clients you're going to get. It's not just about having a good machine. It's about having a good machine, knowing how to use it properly, giving clients good results, making them happy so that they can always come back to you. You know what I mean? Anyways, I do have to go, guys. Do you recommend laser lipo pads, 30K cavitation machine, then vacuum? With some clients, yes, but not every client will be the same. This is something that I will cover in the class, protocols, because protocols do change from client to client. Sometimes you're going to start with one protocol with your client, and then as her body changes, you are going to have to adapt. You're going to have to rearrange things. You're going to have to change your protocol for her specific needs. So I cannot sit here and say everybody's going to be laser lipo pads, then cavitation, then vacuum. It's not always going to be the same. And it also depends the area that you're treating, the treatments that you're doing. So this is why I say like body sculpting can be very complicated, and you cannot just follow one protocol for everything, because we all have different body types. We all have different amounts of body fat. We all have different shapes. So yes, laser lipopads, cavitation, and vacuum is a very general protocol, but it's not going to be the same for every person, because one person might have cellulite and you might not, and you probably won't be able to use cavitation as much. Somebody else might have a lot of loose skin. Somebody else might have very hard subcutaneous fat, and so on and so forth. So it has to be continuously changing according to her body and how her body is progressing after every session. Okay. One more question. Do you think lymphatic drainage massages can be incorporated with body sculpting treatments? Yes, absolutely. More specifically, if you have clients with lots of fluid retention, they are going to need a lymphatic drainage massage first before obtaining body sculpting treatments, because their body needs to be flushed out. Their lymphatic system needs to be working properly. Like, they cannot be retaining fluid if they're going to do any fat loss treatments. This is something that I also cover in the trainings. When is the class starting? It's going to be May 2nd and 3rd. Those are the only two. It's a 2-day class. It's the only class for the month of May. Then the next class is going to be until June. I'm only doing classes once a month right now, because like I've gotten pretty much rid of almost everything that I've been doing, and now I'm only offering one class per month, and that's it. That's all I'm doing. So May 2nd and 3rd, that's a Friday and Saturday. Expect to be there pretty much the full day, both days, because we're going to be covering a lot, from fundamentals to machines to contraindications to protocols to body types to everything, and on top of that, all of the treatments. When will you be posting the class availability? It's already posted, so you can go into the link in my bio here on TikTok or on Instagram. You'll see the link right there. It'll give you the price, which is $297. It'll give you the dates. So when you enroll, when you sign up into the class, you're going to get immediate access to some online trainings. Like, that's going to be already available for you to start watching, just to start learning some of the things about body sculpting if you haven't started your business, just to kind of like get you started and prepare yourself before the class. Then as the class approaches, I'll be emailing the exact location with the address about a week before the actual class, so that you have that information, so that you know where you're going. And by then you should already have some knowledge about body sculpting, some of the things that we're going to be covering inside the trainings. It's really just to get you started. Okay. So the price that you're going to see there is $297. You're not going to pay anything else. It's just that $297, period. And the space is limited. I'm not going to be doing a class with like 50 women. I don't do that. I don't do that. That's too many. Although I could, but that's too many people to be able to train properly in 2 days. So I'm minimizing the space. You can go to the link here on TikTok or on Instagram and reserve, because once the class is full, I'm going to be eliminating the link. Why does it say that my live will end in 5 minutes? Why? Anyways, I don't know. Anyways, I gotta get going. How would you treat, okay, an apron belly? That's something that's going to be covered as well in the training, in the hands-on training. It is in person. It is not online. You get access to some online training as soon as you enroll, but that's not the whole thing. That's just like to get you started. You know, once you're in there, you start watching those videos, you start learning a little bit more about body sculpting. Then in the class, you're going to learn all the things, all the treatments from head to toe, everything. Okay, I'm not excluding anything. You're going to learn my 45-minute method. This is like the most advanced technique that I've learned by myself, that I come up with, where I've been able to reduce my treatment time from 2 hours to 1.5 hours to 1 hour, and now 45 minutes, and still be able to give my clients really, 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 really good results. Is it online? It's not online. Again, this is a hands-on training. I will be recording the class. That's for sure. I'm going to be recording the whole thing, and then that recording is going to go into the online program. So whatever email you use to enroll right now, that's the email that you're going to keep using to log into your account and get access to all of the videos. And then once we're done with the whole training and you get your certificate and blah, 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 then I'll be uploading that recording of the class into that program so that you have access to it. So anytime you need to go back and refresh your memory, you're going to have the recording of that class in there to, you know, just refresh your memory and go back into the questions that are asked or that are going to be asked within the class, so that you never miss anything. Okay, and I only use it on me. Will I still benefit from the online course? Again, it's not an online course. Okay, it's a hands-on training. It's an in-person class. The recording will be there, of course. So if you're gonna use it for yourself, yes, you can still benefit from it, because you're gonna learn how to use the machine. You're gonna learn about the settings. You're gonna learn about the timing. You're gonna learn about your pressure and your movement. You're gonna learn all of the things, you know, and that goes for yourself as well. So you're gonna know how much pressure to apply on yourself, how long to use each tool for, and how you can combine things and how you cannot combine things, and all of these things. So will you benefit from it? Yes, you will benefit from it. Just know that, you know, if you're not in the class, obviously it's going to be a little bit different than just watching the video, compared to being there and then watching the video and saying, oh yeah, I do remember that she said this, or we went over this. You know what I mean? But yes, you can still benefit, because you're going to learn how to properly use the machines and how to properly do the treatments. Alrighty, so I have to get going, because for some reason this thing is telling me that I have to log off, because I only have like 1 minute left. I don't know why. I don't know if this is something new from TikTok. Who knows? Anyways, so I will try to be back sometime this week. I'll be posting it on Instagram, on the stories here on TikTok and Instagram. I'll be posting it on the stories, so you know when I'll be here. Today's Thursday, Friday, maybe it's Saturday. Yeah, maybe Saturday. Maybe I can come. Maybe I can be here Saturday. I'll post it. More than likely I can. But I'll post it. Is there any way we can pay for the videos? You can purchase the class. I mean, like I said, like you're gonna have immediate access to some trainings, but then once we do the class, I'll be recording the whole class. So it's not gonna be how can I say, like, it's not going to be uploaded immediately like that night, because I have to wait for the whole training to become available and then be able to upload it. So it might take like a day or two after the actual class to have access to the recording of the full class. But you know, like, it's not, I'm not charging just for the videos. Like, this is for the entire class, $297. So whether you just whether you want to just wait and watch it online, or you want to be here and do the training in class in person, that's up to you. You know, you're just, what I'm saying is that you're going to have access to everything either way. Okay, so you just have to go to the link in my bio here on TikTok or on Instagram, and you're gonna see that training for $297. That's the total. It's not the deposit. It's the total pricing. Alrighty, so I will be coming back Saturday night. Hopefully, I'll be posting it here on the stories. I am located in Houston, Texas. Have a good night, y'all. Thank you for tuning in and for being here with me, chit-chatting and asking me questions. You know, Saturday, if I'm here, I'll probably be covering a little bit more about protocols. Okay, protocols and body types. So make sure that you're here. It'll be Saturday night as well. Alrighty, have a good night.